Ever had that dreaded check engine light pop up and your car starts acting weird? You're not alone. A lot of the time, the culprit is a tiny unassuming sensor that's decided to take an early retirement. Today we're diving deep into the world of engine sensors, the good, the bad, and the faulty. We'll uncover what they do, why they fail, and how you can start to diagnose them yourself. By the end of this video, you'll be much more confident when that little light appears on your dash. Let's start with the sensors that help your engine breathe. The mass airflow, or MAF sensor, and the manifold absolute pressure, or MAP sensor. The MAF sensor measures the amount of air entering your engine. It's like the engine's lungs telling the computer how much fuel to inject for the perfect air-fuel mixture. When a MAF sensor gets dirty or fails, you might notice rough idling, poor acceleration, bad fuel economy, or even stalling. A common cause is a dirty air filter letting contaminants through. Cleaning it can sometimes be a quick fix, but be sure to use a dedicated MAF sensor cleaner. Anything else can damage its delicate components. Then there's the MAP sensor. This one measures the pressure or vacuum inside the intake manifold. It gives the engine's computer another crucial piece of data to calculate air density and adjust fuel delivery and ignition timing. If your car has a MAP sensor instead of a MAF, a failure can cause similar symptoms: rich or lean running conditions, hesitation, and terrible gas mileage. Often, the vacuum hose connected to it can crack or get clogged, so always check that first. It's a simple check that can save you the cost of a new sensor. Next up, the famous oxygen sensor, sometimes called an O2 sensor. Most modern cars have at least one before the catalytic converter, and one after. The upstream sensor monitors the oxygen level in the exhaust gas, providing real-time feedback to the engine computer to fine-tune the air-fuel ratio. The downstream sensor checks the efficiency of the catalytic converter. A failing O2 sensor is one of the most common reasons for a check engine light. You'll see your fuel efficiency tank, and your car might fail an emissions test. They get contaminated over time by carbon oil or coolant and eventually just wear out. Now let's talk about the throttle position sensor, or TPS. This sensor tells the computer how far open the throttle is, basically how hard you're pressing the gas pedal. This information is vital for managing automatic transmission shifts, fuel delivery, and ignition timing. A faulty TPS can cause all sorts of bizarre issues, like sudden acceleration or deceleration, jerky shifting, and an unstable idle. It might feel like your car has a mind of its own. Sometimes, simply recalibrating the TPS can fix the issue, but often, replacement is necessary. The next two sensors are the dynamic duo of engine timing, the crankshaft position sensor and the camshaft position sensor. The crankshaft sensor tracks the rotational speed and exact position of the crankshaft. This is arguably one of the most critical sensors in your engine. If it fails completely, your engine won't start at all, because the computer won't know when to fire the spark plugs or injectors. If it's failing intermittently, you might experience stalling, rough running, or a check engine light that comes and goes. The camshaft position sensor works in tandem with the crankshaft sensor. It tells the computer the exact position of the camshaft, which is essential for timing the fuel injectors and, on many engines, for variable valve timing systems. A bad camshaft sensor can lead to a rough idle, reduced power, and difficulty starting the engine. In many cases, if one of these two sensors fails, it's a good idea to consider replacing both, as they are often of the same age and have endured the same conditions. Let's move on to temperature. Your engine has a few important thermometers. The intake air temperature, or IAT sensor, measures the temperature of the air coming into the engine. Colder air is denser, so it requires more fuel. The computer uses this data to make fine adjustments to the fuel mixture. A faulty IAT sensor might cause a slight drop in fuel economy or a bit of hesitation, but it's usually not as dramatic as a bad MAF sensor. More critical is the coolant temperature sensor, or CTS. This sensor tells the computer how hot the engine is. When the engine is cold, the computer adds more fuel for a richer mixture to help it start and warm up smoothly. As it warms up, the fuel is leaned out. If the CTS fails and tells the computer the engine is always cold, you'll run rich all the time, wasting fuel and fouling your spark plugs. If it says the engine is hot when it's not, you'll have a hard time starting it. It also controls the cooling fans, so a failure can lead to overheating. Now for speed. The vehicle speed sensor, or VSS, does exactly what its name suggests. It measures how fast your car is going. This information is sent to the speedometer, But it's also used by the cruise control system and the transmission control module to determine when to shift gears. If your VSS fails, your speedometer might stop working or behave erratically. Your cruise control won't engage, and you might experience harsh or improper shifting in an automatic transmission. For our diesel and some modern gasoline direct injection engines, we have the NOx sensor. NOx, or nitrogen oxides, are pollutants that are heavily regulated. The NOx sensor measures the amount of these gases in the exhaust. This data is used by the Selective Catalytic Reduction, or SCR system, which injects diesel exhaust fluid, or AdBlue, to neutralize the harmful emissions. A faulty NOx sensor can trigger a check engine light, cause the vehicle to enter a reduced power limp mode, and will certainly cause you to fail an emissions test. These sensors are complex and unfortunately quite expensive to replace. Let's not forget about keeping the engine lubricated. The oil pressure sensor, or sometimes just an oil pressure switch, monitors the oil pressure in the engine. Its primary job is to turn on the oil warning light on your dashboard if the pressure drops to a dangerously low level. A faulty sensor might give you a false warning, causing a panic, or worse, it might fail to warn you of a real low-pressure situation, which could lead to catastrophic engine damage. If that oil light comes on, always stop the engine and check your oil level immediately before assuming it's just a bad sensor. Equally important for your journey is the fuel level sensor. This one is located inside your fuel tank as part of the fuel pump assembly. It's usually a float connected to a variable resistor. As the fuel level changes, the float moves, changing the resistance and sending a signal to your fuel gauge. When they fail, your fuel gauge might get stuck on full, empty, or swing back and forth wildly. While not critical for engine operation, running out of gas because of a bad sensor is definitely a situation you want to avoid. Finally, we have to talk about the unsung hero that connects everything, the wiring harness. It's the nervous system of your car. All these sensors we've discussed are useless if their signals can't reach the engine computer. Wires can become brittle and crack from heat and age. Connectors can get corroded from moisture. Rodents have also been known to chew on wiring, causing all sorts of electrical gremlins. Before you rush to replace a sensor, always perform a visual inspection of the wiring and connectors. A loose connection or a broken wire can mimic the symptoms of a failed sensor. A simple wiggle test on a connector can sometimes reveal the source of an intermittent problem. So, when you get that check engine light, don't panic. Get the codes read. An auto parts store will often do this for free. A code like P0171, System 2 Lean, doesn't mean replace the O2 sensor. It means the O2 sensor is detecting a lean condition. The root cause could be a vacuum leak, a weak fuel pump, or a dirty MAF sensor. The code is a clue, not a final diagnosis. Use it to narrow down the possibilities and inspect the related sensors and components we've covered today. Understanding these common sensor issues empowers you to have a more intelligent conversation with your mechanic or even tackle some of these repairs yourself. It turns that mysterious check engine light from a source of anxiety into a problem-solving challenge. Thanks so much for watching. If this video helped you understand your car a little better, give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more automotive tips and deep dives. Let us know in the comments if you've ever had a tricky sensor issue. Drive safe and see you in the next one.